Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global TV. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu has called for strengthened cooperation with France in addressing the prevailing threat of terrorism in the country. He also commended the outgoing French ambassador to Nigeria, Emmanuel Blattman, for her dedication to enhancing relations between France and Nigeria. In a farewell meeting with Blattman in Abuja, Tinubu urged her to leverage her new role as Director for Africa to advocate the need to upgrade technical cooperation between Nigeria and France to defeat terrorism and violent extremism. Vice President Kashim Shettima has departed Abuja to represent Nigeria at the 2024 annual meeting of the World Economic Forum scheduled to hold in Davos, Switzerland. Stanley Nwocha, the Vice President's spokesman, announced this in a statement on Sunday. He says Nigeria's #2 man will join other political and business leaders across the world at the annual forum to discuss global socio-economic and development issues. Top on Vice President Shettima's agenda, apart from the plenary session, is the launch of the Private Sector Action Plan for African Continental Free Trade Area at a special session to be co-chaired by him. He is also billed to hold high-level discussions with the Managing Director of IFC, Mactar Diop, and the Prime Minister of Vietnam, Pham Minh Chinh, among others. Also on his sidelines of the annual meeting, Senator Shettima will chair a roundtable dialogue on Nigeria's economic pact. He will also attend a special session dedicated to building trust in the global energy transition program. The Vice President is expected to return to Nigeria after participating in the week-long event. Moving on, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has said there was no excuse for the military not to deliver on its mandate to eliminating threats to Nigeria. Abubakar said this on Sunday in Abuja in his tribute to the Armed Forces of Nigeria in commemoration of the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, adding that President Bola Tinubu-led federal government has provided the wherewithal for their success, while urging the Air Force to continue to sustain the momentum of their oppression and give citizens the confidence they require to go about their businesses without fear. He emphasized that the best way to pay tribute to the nation's fallen heroes was to sustain joint offensives against non-state actors, further adding that there was the need for sustained joint air, ground, and maritime strikes against terrorists, insurgents, and economic saboteurs in paying tribute to those who paid the supreme price in the defense of Nigeria. Benue State Government has commenced the distribution of fire extinguishers and enforcement of its usage in homes and public places across the state. Governor Hyacinth Alia, while launching the project on Sunday in Makurdi, said the Nigeria Fire Extinguisher Sticker project was meant to control fire and ensure prompt response to any fire incident. Alia explained that the project has provision for the servicing of fire extinguishers as part of efforts to not only ensure safety but also generate employment. Represented by the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Joseph Alkali, Alia said over 10,000 sustainable employment opportunity will be provided under the project. Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, the presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, in the 2023 presidential election, has said he did not reach an agreement with President Bola Tinubu or anyone else in relation to the outcome of the Supreme Court verdict on the Kano State governorship election tussle. Kwankwaso stated this while responding to the allegation that he had reached an agreement with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu before the judgment. On Friday, the Supreme Court affirmed the NNPP's Abba Kabir Yusuf as the duly elected governor of Kano State after a series of litigations. Meanwhile, the Emir of Zazzau, Malam Ahmed Nuhu Bamali, has turbaned Alhaji Muazu Bamali, a deputy director of the Central Bank of Nigeria, to Magajin Gari in Zazzau. The turbaning followed the demise of late Magajin Gari and former Nigerian ambassador to Morocco, Alhaji Mansour Nuhu Bamali, who died in Lagos while on transit to Morocco in October 2023. Until his turbaning, the new Magajin Gari held the traditional title of Baradin Zazzau. Both the late and current Magajin Gari are biological brothers of the Emir. Also turbaned was the new Gadoda Masun Zazzau, Alhaji Aminu Musa Hassan, a staff of the Federal College of Education, Zaria. Speaking shortly after the turbaning, the Emir congratulated the newly turbaned traditionalists and tasked them to uphold the good image of the Emirate and respect the norms, culture, and traditions of people of Zazzau. He cautioned them against overstepping their boundaries while discharging their assigned responsibilities, urging them to work in accordance with the rules. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas to promptly reduce the National Assembly budget of 344.85 billion naira to reflect the current economic realities in the country. SERAP urged them to request President Bola Tinubu to present a fresh supplementary appropriation bill which reflects the reduced National Assembly budget for the approval of the National Assembly. SERAP also urged them to promptly publish details of the National Assembly budget of 344.85 billion naira, including the proposed spending details of the 3 billion naira for the Senate's car park and 3 billion budgeted for the House of Representatives car park. The federal government has backtracked on its decision to construct all federal roads using only rigid concrete pavement. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, disclosed the policy reversal during a meeting with all contractors at the ministry's headquarters. The latest development comes several months after the minister directed all contractors handling federal government highways across the country to immediately adopt the use of asphalt and adopt concrete technology. The announcement, which was met with stiff resistance from contractors, stalled the completion of several road projects, but Umahi, meeting with all the contractors in Abuja, the third of its kind since the minister assumed office in August 2023, said the government didn't ban the use of asphalt, but was trying to cut down on its geometric pricing. The National Judicial Council, NJC, has clarified that no date has yet been fixed for the swearing-in of the newly appointed 11 justices of the Supreme Court. The council said the purported news by an Abuja-based media organization suggesting Monday, January 16th, for the inauguration of justices did not emanate from it. A statement by the NJC's Director of Information, Barrister Soji Oye, clarified that neither the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, who is the NJC chairman, nor the council itself authored or endorsed the purported date. Operatives of the NDLEA recovered 300,000 tramadol pills at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, on Friday. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi stated this on Sunday in Abuja, that the pills were smuggled in from Pakistan. He added that various quantities of tramadol and Indian hemp concealed in sole sports canvas shoes and headed to Oman, where also intercepted at 2 courier firms in Lagos on January 9th. He stated that another consignment of tramadol and rohopinol hidden in spices and headed to the United Kingdom had also been intercepted. Babafemi stated that NDLEA nabbed a 24-year-old man in Katsina State on January 10th with 25.5 kg of hemp. He also explained that the arrest was effected during a buy and bust operation at Kumri Primary School in Malum Fashi, Katsina State. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency and the Nnamdi Azikiwe University has signed a memorandum of understanding to build a weather station at the university. This was according to statements by NIMET's General Manager, Public Relations, Muntari Ibrahim. The MOU was signed by the Vice Chancellor of the school, Charles Esimani, on behalf of the institution's governing council, while the DG of NIMET, Charles Anosike, signed on behalf of NIMET at their office headquarters in Abuja. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Anosike urged the management of the university to take leadership in downscaling NIMET's annually issued seasonal climate prediction to farmers and other users in Anambra State and beyond. A human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has called on the Nigerian police to conduct proper investigations into the case of brutality against lawyers in Lagos State. Falana made the call during a peaceful protest organized by members of the Nigerian Bar Association, Lagos, against the unlawful arrest and detention of lawyer Olumide Shonugbe by the police in the state. The lawyers, who were members of about 5 branches of the NBA, marched from Etikeja Secretariat while displaying banners to the command headquarters, where the State Commissioner of Police, Adegoke Fayoade, addressed them. You're watching the News Prime, live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When the News Prime returns, Taiwan's president-elect vows to defend Island from China threats. The news continues shortly with details of this and more stories. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. And on the foreign scene, Taiwan's president-elect Lai Ching-te vowed Saturday to defend the self-ruled island from intimidation by China after voters defied warnings from Beijing and swept him to election victory. Branded by Beijing as a threat to peace in the Flashpoint region, secured an unprecedented third consecutive term for the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, in Saturday's poll after a raucous campaign in which he pitched himself as a defender of Taiwan's democratic way of life.
这场全球关注的大选，台湾告诉全世界，在民主与威权之间，我们选择站在民主的这一边，这就是这场选战对全世界的意义。
Communist China claims democratic Taiwan separated from the mainland by 180 kilometers straight as its own and refuses to rule out using force to bring out unification even if conflict does not appear imminent. Beijing, which before the poll called Lai a severe danger and urged voters to shun him, said Saturday the result would not stop the inevitable trend of China's reunification. Meanwhile, the UK will provide 2.5 billion euros of military aid to Ukraine over the coming year, Rishi Sunak has stated, Britain's largest annual commitment since Russia's invasion. The Prime Minister made the announcement during a rare visit to the country where he will also sign a new agreement supporting its long-term security. Officials said the package will provide Ukraine with long-range missiles, air defense, and artillery shells. Some 200 million euros, I beg your pardon, will be spent on drones, most of which will be UK made. In business, Dangote Petroleum Refinery has commenced production of diesel and aviation fuel. However, the refinery has yet to produce petroleum motor spirit, otherwise known as petrol. The Chief Branding and Communications Officer of Dangote Group, Anthony Shiejina, had late on Friday confirmed the commencement of operations to newsmen. Meanwhile, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment in Nigeria The minister, I beg your pardon, Doris Uzoka-Anite, has underscored the federal government's commitment to bolstering the private sector as a key driver for job creation and economic development. The minister stated this at a strategic meeting with Ogun State Governor Prince Dakpo Abiodun as part of her tour to industries, where she emphasized the federal government's support for the state, highlighting the importance of gathering feedback to enhance nationwide industrialization. In his reaction, Governor Abiodun expressed his vision of leveraging the state's proximity to Lagos to foster a conducive environment for public-private partnerships. Super Eagles of Nigeria were wasteful in their opening match against Equatorial Guinea as they were held to a 1-1 draw. Equatorial Guinea's Ivan Salvador opened the scoring in the 36 minutes, but Victor Osimhen leveled up for the Nigerian side 2 minutes later. The result placed the Super Eagles in the group's third position after one round of matches by all 4 teams. Nigeria, 4 to 6 places higher than Equatorial Guinea in the world rankings, had been expected to begin their campaign for a 4th African title with a victory. Nigeria dominated the early possession and should have taken the lead 10 minutes into a match that attracted a small crowd to the 60,000-seat Ebimpe Olympic Stadium. Still in sports, the Court of Arbitration for Sport has set January 19, 2024 as date for hearing on the appeal filed by World Athletics via the Athletics Integrity Unit and the World Anti-Doping Agency, challenging the first instance decision of the Disciplinary Tribunal in World Athletics versus Nigeria and world record holder in the 100-meter hurdles, Tobi Amusa, while the ARU filed its appeal on September 15, 2023. World Anti-Doping Agency followed suit 2 days later, and both are seeking to get the Nigerian banned for whereabouts failures in 2023. The AIU had provisionally suspended Amusa in July 2023 and issued her with a notice of charge for an anti-doping rule violation. In a statement then on Twitter, now X, the Athletics Integrity Unit said the charge would be heard by the Disciplinary Tribunal and determined before the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary. Pep Guardiola disclosed that Manchester City's injured striker Erling Haaland is expected to remain sidelined until the end of January. Haaland has been absent from the team for the past 8 games due to a foot injury suffered in early December, posing a significant challenge to City's quest for retaining the Premier League title. Initially hopeful for an early return in the new year, Guardiola acknowledged that Haaland's recovery is more complicated than anticipated. The 23-year-old has yet to resume field training, raising concerns for City. And that's it on the News Prime, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. We are on StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching, and see you again.